What makes you stand out from the Republican and Democratic frontrunners?
Well, I would say the most easy answer to that is that there is no corruption or scandal in my background.
Okay.
The Libertarian Party owes no favors to any political lobby group or donor group, and we are not tied into the, the shadow government that actually runs things. One of the things that you'll notice that both parties always vote the same way to increase government and increase taxes and reduce our freedoms. So when you really look at government, what is government? Government is Republicans and Democrats. There is no third voice in government. So I'm running really to be the third voice, and also what makes me stand out is that I actually am offering solutions that are good for the planet, that are good for the people, and only costly to the campaign donors and the big corporations that donate to campaigns, big pharma, big agriculture, big oil. All those companies are scared to death of the libertarian ideas on how government should be run, which is lean and across the board in favor of freedom and liberty for the people, not this constant stream and barrage of propaganda that we have to buy this and have to buy that, and we need all these drugs and have to pay insurance and blah, 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 all this, corporate stuff that really has a throwback to horse and buggy days. Government really has not advanced beyond the horse and buggy mentality of herd management. So when we look at Georgia in particular, I've seen so much evidence and so many outlandish examples of how government treats Georgia as a plantation and we're just field hands. The elite is robbing us blind. They're not held accountable for any of their misfeasance or malfeasance or just unethical acts or violations of their oath of office. And that's what makes me stand out, is I'm actually running on a campaign platform to end the corruption, to hold government officials accountable. And when we start lowering the size and scope of government, automatically we're not having to pay as much tax dollars in to support a system that is so oppressive to begin with. Criminal justice reform is another huge issue for me. I've come outright and said that I want to see cannabis as legal as tomatoes, cucumbers, and onions, and not only medical but also recreational. What the heck? If you're an adult, you know what's good for you and what's not good for you. All use of cannabis has medical properties, medical benefits, curative properties, and it's just the most miraculous plant that's on the planet right now. But ending the drug war will clean up so much of the corruption in the judicial system. Our justice system right now relies on low-hanging fruit to stay in business. Governments around Georgia, 159 counties, are all building huge justice complexes, which is basically a courthouse system so that they can bring people in on marijuana charges, which is mostly what arrests are for these days. They're not prosecuting crimes of property crimes. They're not doing any fraud. They're not convicting people of crime, actual crime that has harm to society and victims in property or person. So let's get rid of the victimless crimes. And that's another thing that sets me apart, is like almost every engagement I have, I get to talk about jury nullification. Under Georgia's Constitution, Article 1, Section 1, Clause 11, the jurors shall be the judges of the law and of the fact. And just like what happened back during the days of the Runaway Slave Act, people stopped finding people guilty of a law that they did not agree with. So that's something we need to know as citizens. Our last line of defense against an oppressive government is acquitting people for the crimes that they are prosecuting people with when there's no victim or the law is just stupid. So how's that for a start on why I'm different from the mainstream two candidates that want to support the broken crony capital system of supporting big corporate interests and lobbyists and special interest groups and their friends and family?